Happy Thursday, Facebook friends. Welcome back to Facebook. I'm Angie Garza, Director of Professional Learning and Educational Services at ROE 47, serving Lee, Ogle, and Whiteside counties. And if you're joining us back here this fine Thursday in November, you'll know that it's time for another edition of Teacher Talk. And today is a very special teacher talk for us here at ROE 47. We are talking all things early childhood. Yes, that's right, our littlest learners. And to have these conversations, I am so happy and excited to welcome my friend, colleague, and co-host, Miss Stacy Dingus, to our Teacher Talk platform this morning. Stacy, I think we're in for a treat this morning. We're going to be talking about our Early Childhood Summit on Friday, November 15th at Sauk Valley Community College, gearing up, and our special guest is our keynote speaker, Mr. Jim Gill. So we'll introduce him in just a moment, but what do you think about early childhood? We're talking about our littlest learners here this morning.
Good morning, Angie. Well, it has been a while since I've had some littlest learners in my house. I was a junior high teacher for many years and always seemed to operate and relate a little bit better to those older kids. So I'm going to be learning something as well as we kind of talk a little bit about our upcoming EC Summit and talking about that play-based learning and what's best for our little kids, our tiny ones, before they really get into the classroom or their first initial visit into the classroom. So excited to get this one going.
Like to think that we are all kids at heart. And so there's, I think, something to be said for going back and embracing our inner child and thinking about those formative years of a child's first experience with education. And we know that that starts very early, even with their parents and their caregivers, and then progresses as they enter our preschools and our school systems. And so our annual Early Childhood Summit really looks to support those providers with kind of thinking about best practices and ways to engage our young children and students from a variety of different perspectives. You mentioned play-based learning. We're going to be hearing from our friends at Rochelle Elementary School District on how they are implementing play-based learning and rolling it up through fifth grade. It's an opportunity for our educators and our providers to come together and network. But it is also an opportunity for those individuals to be inspired and to hear from someone with a really powerful message. So we are so excited this year at our annual Early Childhood Summit on Friday, November 15th at Sauk Valley Community College to welcome Mr. Jim Gill. Jim is a noted author, musician, and child development specialist. He is with us here this morning on Teacher Talk, and we are so happy and excited by that. Mr. Gill, good morning. Welcome to Teacher Talk. Thank you so much for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule to talk with us here this morning. And as we get started, I was wondering if you might kick us off by telling the world, our viewers out here on Facebook and YouTube in Lee and Ogle and Whiteside counties, a little bit about yourself and your background in early childhood.
Good morning. I'm excited to be here with my banjo. Actually, I'm going to strum my banjo in a few moments, but I'm going to put it down now while we talk official things. But I will be, by the way, this may be everybody's first Zoom experience with a banjo. And also, it may be everybody's first professional workshop summit experience with a banjo as well. So I have a banjo, but my graduate studies are in child development. So I consider myself primarily a child development specialist. But how I got started doing particularly what I do and what I'm going to be talking about at the summit, when I was in college, when I was 20 years old, and at the summit, I will have some photos to share of this. When I was 20 years old, I moved to Chicago for college. I grew up in Rockford. And I had this opportunity from this wonderful early childhood family support agency that served families with young kids with special needs to do weekly developmental playgroups, to lead these playgroups. They knew that I had a lot of energy and that I had been working with kids with special needs as a teenager. And they said, hey, why don't we do this weekly developmental play group. Why don't we kind of create it together and it'll be fun. And it was fun. Uh, but it turned out to be, as one of the therapists told me, and numerous therapists told me over the years, as I kept doing these play groups at various sites, it's fun, but it's a lot more than just fun. uh, and so over the years, I started creating songs. I picked my banjo and started making up songs that would be part of these developmental play groups. And my songs are really musical games that came out of that. And over the years, then teachers would say, when they would hear me talk about, oh, this is what I'm doing on these in these play groups, they would say, we wish you would make, I just realized that this is back here. We wish you would make a record. So years ago, I made records out of, that's funny that that's there. I made records of my songs and teachers would use them in their classrooms. Uh, it became a career. It was never supposed to be a career. Again, along the way, I went to graduate school and I got a lot more thoughtful about what I was trying to help young children learn through these kinds of musical games. And I think that's what I'll bring to the summit, is both practical activities that everybody can use. Well, if they're a preschool teacher in circle time, if they're a teacher in the early grades, brain breaks, those kinds of things. So I'll have practical activities, lots of them. And also I'll be stopping and talking about what we help young children learn through this kind of play. So it's going to fit in perfect to the theme of the play-based learning.
And this is a great kind of lead into our next question. This summit, you'll be visiting us out at Sauk Valley Community College on Friday, November 15th, and we're very excited about that. Can you tell us a little bit more, give us a little sneak peek, a look into exactly what that presentation will be like, some things that you're going to be adding in when people will be visiting us out there at Sauk?
Well, I would love to. And if you don't mind, I can share two examples, and we didn't talk about this, but if it's okay, one thing I could share is a good example of the type of musical games that I'll be sharing. I'm not going to use my banjo for this one. I'm going to use an entire orchestra. I want to share with you a finger play, and one of the things that I will be sharing at this session on Friday, November 15th at Sauk Valley are finger plays. Teachers love these, right? Both preschool teachers like them for circle time, and teachers in the grade and in kindergarten, first, second grade love them as brain breaks. Here is one set to a very impressive score, as you already heard. You can do it with me if you want. Get ready. We're going to start with our fingers all curled up into a fist. See, everybody knows the melody so they can sing it. The time has come. Show me your thumb. Next thing to do. Pointers out too. Middles extend as they unbend. Ring fingers next. Flex them out stretched. No time to wait. Pinkies out straight. Here are the plans. Please clap those hands. Perfect. So that's an example of the types of games. And here is what I love about that. Or I'll talk a lot about some implications of that. But one thing is, everybody knows that melody. So you can just go back and sing it, right? You'll have it in your head. We'll be sharing lyrics to these kind of simple singable songs. So at any moment you can go, oh, everybody, the time has come. Show me your thumb. So we'll talk. And so there's the obvious, when it comes to what we help young children learn through a game like this, there's obviously the fine motor skills. And I'll be sharing other finger plays as well that sort of exercise that. But there's a lot more too. Think about the rhymes, right? The time has come, show me your thumb. Kids start guessing the rhymes. So there's early literacy implications. There's obviously early math. Uh, all of those kinds of well, early math. I say obviously early math, not in that one, but in other ones because one, two, three. So we'll be having some early math skills as well. So that's one example.
I'm just sitting here smiling, and I don't know if Stacy's thinking the same thing, but you are like speaking my language right now. I love singing. I love music. I love making up songs. I think it's a lot of fun. Um, so as I listened to you in that last kind of finger play, I was thinking, oh, what songs could I make up next? This is really um, just inspiring and a lot of fun. It gets those endorphins going. So thank you so much for that. But you know what? Music, I wanted to say music is only one of your talents because you are also an author, a published author. So I was wondering if you might speak to that because we are so excited to share that every participant at our Early Childhood Summit is going to receive a copy of your book, May There Always Be Sunshine, which also warms my heart. So, talk to us a little bit. I know you were about to say something about more about the singing and the finger plays, but please feel free to talk about that and also about your book, May There Always Be Sunshine.
And I'm so excited that folks are going to be able to take this back to their classroom and their program because it is a song. It's a song, it's an old folk song. And at the workshop, I'm going to be bringing everybody through the whole history of my use of this song, starting at those play groups when I was 20 years old. But I'm going to grab my banjo for this. And then in a few moments, I'm going to share my screen and give everybody I'll give everybody some glimpses of some of the illustrations from the book and some of what we're going to be talking about. But I don't want to give it all away because we want them to show up on Friday, November 15th at Sauk Valley Community College to get a copy of the book and learn about lots and lots of ways that folks can use it all across the ages, right? Honestly, if we have early intervention folks that are there and doing home-based programs from birth to 3, it's a sweet song to sing with families. Preschool, early grades, I'll show you in a few months. But first, it's a song. It's an old folk song. May there always be sunshine. May there always be blue skies. May there always be family. May there always be me. Those are the old words to the song. And then in my play groups over the years, going back 40 years ago, we would take that song. You know what you do with, if you're an early childhood person with a song like that, you can take and put your own words in. It's an open melody. So I started with children with language delays, getting some language for them first by singing everybody's name. May there always be Rachel. May there always be Jackson. Going around the circle, right? So we get everybody's name. And then in my play groups, kids started adding their own ideas. May there always be may there always be pizza. May there always be houses. And then kids would sometimes sign, may there always be music. May there always be cookies. All of these things. So we're getting it back. And again, the therapists were saying, this is fun, but it's a lot more than just fun. And then eventually, one of the things that happened when in working in preschools and early childhood programs, we started making little books where kids would say something like, may there always be slides. And then I might write down, may there always be slides, and then, take their dictation, and then they would draw the illustration. And when I went to graduate school, I went to the Erickson Institute here in Chicago for graduate school. One of my favorite professors said, this is the best practice. You've got a child that's excited about their word. They have a caring adult like me or the people that'll be there at Sauk Valley College that takes the time to write down the children's words. Then the children get excited and draw illustrations. that's how we made the book. The book was always created in the hopes that other people would make books. So the cover, it's got this big, so you can imagine bringing this back to your circle time or to your kindergarten classroom, first grade classroom. Look at this. It's exciting to begin with. It makes everybody smile. And then the old words of the song, may there always be sunshine. May there always be blue skies. May there always be mama. May there always be me. And those are the old words to the song. And then my book is filled with ideas that children gave me at those play groups and sometimes at concerts that I would do. I have visited schools in your region over the years many times. So some of these ideas might have come from kids in one of the schools in your program. Ideas like, may there always be dancing. May there always be grapes. I gotta move this over here. May there always be birthdays. May there always be teeth. So those were the ideas in my book. But again, the book was created in the hopes that other people would take the inspiration from that and then make pages with children and make class books. So I have a few of those that I'll share with you. May there always be merry-go-rounds. This is one of my favorites. You can see this little girl, Susie. I have a feeling she was 4 years old. She had this idea, may there always be merry-go-rounds. And she was fortunate enough to have an early childhood professional, like one of the teachers that'll be there coming up in a couple of weeks, wrote down her words. May there always be merry-go-rounds, right? And as the teacher is writing that down, that child is going like, those are my words, and is all excited and proud and takes that excitement and creates that illustration, right? You can see all the things we're helping young children learn through this. So it's sweet and it's fun, but it's a lot more than just fun, right? Here's another one. So that's a good example for preschool. Here's in early grades. May there always be best friends. Look at this. So now you've got a child, maybe in first grade, that can write the words down independently. May there always be best friends. And the ideas get sweeter too, right? There's more profound ideas from the older kids. So not only is it early literacy, it's also, think about this one, social emotional learning, right? All of a sudden they're thinking like, oh, may there always be, my best friend, right? I mean, how great is this? All wrapped up in a song. May there always be rain. May there always be everything bagels. Let me just show a few more. May there always be dinosaurs. May there always be snowmen. This is a little preschooler, right? A little toddler, maybe even almost. May there always be pepperoni pizza. May there always be tree planting workers. Kids have these amazing ideas. And so one of the things that I love about finger plays that I'll be sharing and this book, again, everybody's going to go back with this book, which is so sweet to me, to think that this is going to be read and sung with love with the students that they work with. But one of the things that I really love is all the follow-up activities can be done at no cost. Paper, crayons, markers, things that are around. That's what I love. The finger plays that I'm going to share, they're going to have the lyrics. They can go back and just sing them, right? So they can put all of this to use immediately after the workshop.
Hey, Jim, I'm excited. Can you come tomorrow? We need sunshine right now here in our lives because it is gloomy today.
Fortunately for me, but unfortunately for you, I have to go out and sing. I visit schools all over the country, frankly. But tomorrow is just a drivable one. But I'll be out singing tomorrow, which makes me happy, but I can't come tomorrow.
We will have to wait until Friday, November 15th, when you are with us for you'll be with us in the morning. We'll have some play-based conversations in the afternoon, but it is a full day of learning for all of our early childhood folks, ranging to your point from our support services and providers from birth all the way through third grade. we know that that early childhood range is a big one, and working on, as you mentioned, those early literacy, early math, social emotional development is so critical in those early years, to develop those strong foundations with our littlest learners. So, as friends, as we wrap up our teacher talk here this morning, we want to say a very special thank you to noted author, musician, childhood development specialist. I could probably go on with the talents that this man has, Mr. Jim Gill. Thank you so much for taking time again out of your busy schedule to join us here on Teacher Talk and share the exciting and great news about our early childhood summit on Friday, November 15th. Friends, if you would like to register for that summit, registration is still open on our website at www.roe47.org. And there will be additional information within the context of this post to help you navigate that registration process. As we wrap up, I'm going to take a little bit of inspiration from Mr. Gill and say, may there always be summits, places where people can learn. I'm going to workshop that a little bit more and hope to have something for you, Mr. Gill, when you're here with us on the 15th. But we so are looking forward to that. Friends, we also want to thank my friend, colleague, and co-host, Ms. Stacey Dingus, for always being so gracious and letting me sing on our Teacher Talk platform and get excited about this. And we want to thank you, our viewers, for tuning in. May you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, an even better Friday, a sunshine-filled weekend, and we will see you right back here next Thursday for another edition of Teacher Talk.